back. And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back, and we back.
All right, guys, welcome to the Adapt Performance Podcast number 9. Got Seymour McCallum, Bo Alexander, Lucas Ammon, crew all back at it with a new topic, talking about supplements. Sure y'all have seen those basically everywhere you go. They're at, all the GNC, Vitamin Shop, other random stores, even Target has their own brands. What we want to get into right now is the basics of it. What is supplements? Why use them?
Yeah, what are supplements? Supplements are basically exactly what you would imagine. Supplements are to supplement your diet. Supplements are anything from the very common like multivitamins. You even have like kids taking like gummy vitamins from early ages now.
The Trubel Flintstone ones.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like kids for the most part don't really have that healthy of a diet. I know, like my nephew, for instance, eats like frozen chicken nuggets and weird things like that. And,
corn dogs and macaroni all day.
Yeah, if you imagine what you ate as a kid.
That's not healthy.
From an early age, we're now having to supplement or think about supplementation, and it's becoming more kind of relevant and prevalent throughout, I guess, society.
And actually popular. Like there's so many different brands, and every store you walk into has supplements on the shelf. And I mean, it's also being driven by something. Like these must be becoming more popular, like kind of as we come into this more fitness age here.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because you can look at it from two different perspectives. Is it becoming more popular because fitness and health is becoming more popular, or is it becoming more popular mainly because people are looking for like a quick fix? I think that's one way that a lot of people look at nutrition or look at supplementation for instance, like, oh, I don't need to eat. I'm just going to have a protein shake, and then I'm going to go to bed, or like meal replacement shakes. Like you're going to probably lack a lot of the actual like vitamins and nutrients that come from a well-balanced meal by taking like a meal replacement shake.
Gotcha. See, like you still need to, even though you're on supplements, you still need to have like an actual good diet. So you can't just like I buy protein and now I don't have to eat. I can eat shit forever now. It's not like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really hard to cover your bases with just your regular nutrition, which is why supplements can be a really good thing. A lot of people don't have, for instance, you might eat a lot of, like, what's your favorite vegetable? Like spinach, for instance. Spinach has a lot of different like vitamins and nutrients in it, but it's still not going to have everything. But if you mainly eat like, oh, I'm just going to eat spinach because it's great, you're not going to have a full balance. So that's when supplements kind of can come in handy. But a lot of times people will be like, oh, well, I ate a multivitamin. That means I don't have to eat vegetables.
That might not be the case. Yeah.
It's mainly not the case because just because you consume something doesn't mean your body absorbs it.
Exactly. So I actually read something about that is that, like, whenever you actually eat food, like eat dairy or whatever it may be, your body will actually react differently than, like, say, you just eat a crap load of protein. Mm-hmm. Like, your body breaks that down and reacts differently to, say, you're getting protein out of beef, whenever you just might be getting protein out of like a protein shake. Your body will actually, like, somehow intake that differently, which is kind of crazy. Your body can tell the difference between that.
Yeah, and it's not so much that it tells, like, the difference. I mean, it does. Your body's super intuitive. But it's also, like, the little things that come into rather having just like pure, just like whey protein versus having something that has a little bit more, again, like nutrients outside of just protein as a value.
Gotcha.
You might have protein over here, but you might also get protein and iron and calcium and all these different other like micronutrients that help to have kind of a better overall foundation of health and nutrition.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I think one thing we really want to talk about is supplementation as how we use them with our goals. So I know independently, whether you have a fat loss goal or a bulking goal, or even if you just want to perform better, different supplementation methods can have different results and different kind of benefits. For instance, like if you're trying to lose weight, you probably don't want to be on like a mass gainer shake or a meal replacement shake. So let's talk about that a little bit more. I know, for instance, Lucas, you're here trying to get, substantially bigger. Something you've kind of struggled with for a while.
It's been a journey, man, trying to just eat enough, get enough calories in me, but also matching the macros that I need, getting enough protein in me. And obviously, as you said, meal replacement shakes can only do so much. They definitely do help me get an extra calorie boost in the day, get some extra protein I might have missed along the way, especially when I get busy throughout the day and just can't really get a meal in that I should. Just a quick drink, but if I were to do that for every meal when I'm super busy, then my body, like you said, it's pretty intuitive. It's going to kind of have a lot of that pass through me without me actually absorbing everything that's necessary for me to have to get bulking. Along with that, it's not going to have the vitamins, nutrients, all that stuff that I do need just to be healthy and be energized to even carry out my workout.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing is, there's a lot of times where I will have missed a meal, or if I do a meal replacement, I do feel a little more fatigued just because, I'm running on fumes almost. Like, yeah, I have the calories to burn, but there's those minor differences that honestly in the end make a big difference. And
especially when you're trying to get bigger.
Yeah.
For instance, I know that you have some issues with like sometimes even like waking up in the morning, like you need to eat like right away, or else you told me about how you like feel nauseous and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you kind of touched on that. Like I also have an issue like gaining weight, and like that's kind of like what drives us to supplements is like I have an issue with like when I wake up in the morning, I can't necessarily always like I'm not hungry as hell, but if I don't eat, then obviously you get sick, and
I
it
just
happens.
have to force something down.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and like, I'm not always like that's where I kind of step in for supplements. Like, I take a protein shake because I'm able to do that in the morning instead of like cooking breakfast or whatever it might be. But I think that like the biggest issue for me is that I was driven to supplements because I have like this like kind of I want to add to my diet, supplement my diet. How do we know that we go to the store and like this is going to work and that's going to work? And how do we know what like I know that we're trying to gain weight, but how do we know what's actually going to work? How can you tell this is a good brand that I want
I
to
mean,
get?
there's a lot of different brands out
Exactly,
there. So
like-
that's one of the big issues I think a lot of people have is, you go into a store and you see some pretty well-known brands out there, and you're like, oh, like, a lot of weightlifters or people that go to the gym, I see them with that, or you see it advertised, even in like, health magazines, Men's Health and other fitness magazines. And then you're like, oh, well, the Walmart brand, the Target brand, the whatever store brand it is significantly cheaper. Or even just like some other just, I guess, brand that you've never heard of, a competitor. And, how can you tell what the difference is? If you look at the back, there's all these added ingredients, and some of them where you're like, I've never even heard of that.
Like there's
It's like, and some of them will even be like, daily value percentage in a serving could be upwards of 100%. And you're like, okay, so if I'm taking a lot of this, is that good? Is that going to do harm to me? Is that going to help me with my fitness or my goal? And I mean, that's kind of one of the things that Bo was touching on earlier is, getting stuff that's, FDA approved
Which is the big issue is because supplements are not FDA regulated. So you can create a supplement basically if you just you can go to different online stores, basically buy the ingredients that you want, lump them into a bag, and say like, hey, this is my product. As long as you have it like well branded, looks official, like a lot of people aren't going to trick you because they think like, oh, I can buy this. I can go to a store and I can pay and exchange currency for this. This must be something that has been through some sort of process. But really with supplementation, like there's just so much out there now that it's like, one, again, we have an issue of actual bioavailability. Like, is our body actually able to absorb this? But then two, it's like, are the ingredients in this actually accurate? Are we actually getting something that is good for our body? Because what happens with the research is they skew the research. Basically, if you get like one or two reports of something having a positive effect, then they can market it and say, hey, this has had this effect on this. While it also might have 674 researches that say, yeah, it's not good for this, or it's not good for all these different things.
Yeah.
It's all just about how you can
tilt
market
research. You can tilt research any which way with the numbers. Like you can always work the numbers in your favor.
If you're looking for something when it comes to research, you can do as many research studies until you find what you're looking for.
And it's kind of like when you mentioned that earlier, like that it's not FDA regulated. Like it's shocking to me because I don't think that people really understand that. Like you go into some of these stores like GNC or Ultimate Sports Nutrition or any of these local shops, like everything you see on the shelves, like the government hasn't checked that. It could be whatever it might be in there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that's why it's really, really important for someone to go and like do reviews and like figure out what brand, like what company you think is like ethical and is actually following what they put in there.
Yeah.
Because Shit, that stuff's expensive,
And
man.
at the very least, do your research on look at a brand that you normally stay true to, or one that you see as more popular. Do your research on what ingredients are in there, and see if that's something that's necessary for you, or even along with the ingredients in your bag. Think about what your personal goal would be. If I'm trying to lose weight, I'm not probably going to want to get a meal replacement shake. Those get up to like 700, 800 calories. And honestly, if you're trying to lose weight,
you're going to want to
for some people that's like half your calories in a day in one one shake. You're going to be hungry the rest of the day. Not to mention, as we said earlier, missing out on a lot of those vitamins and nutrients that are necessary in a meal, in a well balanced meal and stuff. And that's not something that just a multivitamin will take care of. A lot of people are deficient in vitamin D. Doesn't mean you can just take strictly vitamin D droplets to basically fix that. Sunlight is a big source of vitamin D. Go outside, go soak up some sun. Can be anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes of just outdoor activity of some sort, and then that'll help you in the long run. You can still do your droplets with that to help that, but there's a lot of things that people are trying to find that shortcut. And that's not necessarily how you want to do it.
Yeah,
I think the natural way is always probably better. Like, I think doing something naturally, like for example, what you were saying with the sun. Just if you were to go out there and get like the old fashioned way, probably better than like taking unregulated.
This allows us to kind of go into the next segment, which is like what actually works. Like, what do we know from the research that you can go to the store, whether it's you're going to Target or you're going to GNC or you're going online, maybe buying on Amazon or something, or even from like individual companies, what actually is an effective, good product? You mentioned vitamin D, and that's a huge one, mainly because vitamin D is actually a hormone that is really efficient and effective in overall like balancing our hormones in our body, and also performs a lot of different functions within our body. And again, you can get it from the sun, but most people don't spend enough time outside. And then some people can't even really synthesize it properly.
So you can have an issue. We can even do a whole podcast on just vitamin D, hormones, all that stuff. But I think what we'll do whenever we come back, we'll talk about debunking some myths about supplements and what would kind of properly work for y'all. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll be right back, guys.
The goal at ADAPT is to provide the highest quality exercise facility for optimal health, performance, and recovery by utilizing the most advanced training, nutrition, and recovery technology and knowledge. We focus on your goals, your results, and providing the best exercise experience, whether you're performing a sport, a hobby, or the daily tasks of life. We specialize in 30-minute personal training that's going to keep you moving, burning calories, getting stronger, and performing better than ever. With ARX, or Adaptive Resistance Exercise, the equipment adapts the resistance to your strength instantly, never applying more force than you can handle, while allowing you to perform at a huge advantage from training with traditional weights alone. ARX gets to know you and compares your past performances to motivate you to do better every single time. With this real-time performance tracking, we can continually see progress toward your goals each session and project your future success. We are able to perfectly match your effort every second of every exercise, making sure that what you're doing is always providing the best possible training. In order to offer the most comprehensive service, we also promote optimal recovery through cryotherapy and Normatec compression massage, allowing us to train and recover at the highest level. At ADAPT, we provide a holistic experience for our clients by merging great training with great technology. All of the elements such as ARX, cryotherapy, and Normatec allow our clients not just to train hard, but also to recover more effectively. Training at ADAPT gives you the results that you want in the time you never thought you had.
All right, guys, and we're back. When we left, we were talking about what supplements you should buy and, like, do they work? Like, what supplements are actually worth your time and money? And, Bo, I mean, you should be the master on this. Like, what do you think is actually worth some time? Like, what have you seen actual science on that points in the direction of this shit actually will, like, work?
Yeah, I mean, the majority of all the research points to, the common things that people do buy. it's really just a case of good marketing. For instance, things like multivitamins, a really like popular one, whether they want to admit it or not, are like testosterone boosters. Those things are not things that are actually going to, in the research, really show no benefit to anyone.
And you see those.
And it tends to be just a waste of money.
You see those everywhere, though. Like, everybody's trying to sell everybody on. If you're a middle-aged man and you're feeling tired, or you hear those commercials every day. And I feel like it's all bull crap. And I mean, they're like, what do you feel? How do you feel about the testosterone injections?
Testosterone, the injections are a lot more effective because they actually can be, you're injecting and putting like real testosterone or artificial testosterone if it's like hormone replacement therapy. That's actually putting hormones into your body. It's a funny fact. I was talking with someone and they were telling me how a lot of the patients that they were seeing, women were having issues because they'd go to work out at the gym and all these like where all these older men work, and these men were like putting on their creams, like their hormonal replacement creams,
like the Under Armour stuff.
Like their hormones, like essentially putting hormones on their body, not washing their hands, then going and working out.
Oh,
so these women were being exposed to like hormones, that sexual hormones, but outside of things like that, I mean, we're not advocating anyone goes out and like does steroids. Like if you do, that's your thing. If you do, consult with the doctor and let them know that you are doing that. If it's hormonal replacement therapy, you can't really just go pick that up at GNC. But what we really want to talk about are things that actually you're going to the store, you're going to buy with the intent of optimizing your nutrition, optimizing your life. And with that, it's going to be kind of a few basic things. One of them, surprisingly, whether you're trying to get stronger or lose fat, super effective is caffeine. Like most commonly used drug really in the world. Caffeine has a huge benefit, not only in terms of increasing your overall thermal load, so like raises your metabolism, but also it can also have some really good properties in terms of increasing your overall performance, allowing you to do more work. You feel like energetic, keeping you kind of out of a slump and things like that.
For sure. Yeah.
Moving on, we talked about vitamin D already, all the good kind of positive benefits of vitamin D. Creatine. Creatine is the most heavily studied like supplement out there, like even more than whey protein. And every single, like I remember back in high school, they talk about creatine, like, oh, creatine gives you a heart attack and all this stuff.
And shrink or would dehydrate your liver. I used to hear or spleen or whatever it was.
All this stuff. And creatine is, I've never seen one research study that says that creatine has any negative effect. So creatine is by and large one of the most effective supplements you can get, mainly because if you're cutting weight, like you're trying to slim down, it's going to help you spare muscle, so you're not going to lose as much muscle as you're cutting weight. It actually has huge cognitive benefits, so you actually mentally perform a lot better. And then also, of course, it does help you gain muscle, because creatine, in like a nutshell, is essentially allowing us to produce more ATP, which is a like basic energy system that we use. Also, like fish oil. Fish oil is one that's becoming more and more popular. Fish oil mainly for its anti-inflammatory effects.
Okay, so you're talking about like just like soreness and like
anti-inflammation. So inflammation is, again, we talked about this a little bit in other podcast episodes, but inflammation is what kind of dictates our aging process, whether that's aging physically, like how we feel, or like how we appear.
Okay.
Aches, joints, wrinkles, all this stuff, that kind of deteriorates with our body. A lot of it is determined by our levels of inflammation.
And that even leads to like age-related diseases caused by inflammation that is a direct result of like stress, whether physical, emotional, anything like that. So any sort of inflammation like that can definitely lead to age-related diseases, cancers, etc. And we're not saying that this is necessarily going to prevent that or stop it completely.
Don't take fish oil.
But obviously the fact that like getting healthy fats like that and like fish oil is a good supplement to kind of help reduce that. And as he said, talked about reducing inflammation earlier with like cryotherapy, anything that's going to help reduce inflammation. It's going to be really good for your body, other than like the healthy inflammation from working out. Something that's going to really build your muscles.
And which is funny because talking about inflammation, it kind of brings us in a way full circle back to our other one, which is like protein.
Okay.
Protein's like one of the most commonly used supplements. It's kind of the first thing you do. You're like, okay, I'm trying to get in shape. I need to go to the store. I need to pick up a protein. which protein do I get?
Like a bag of protein, I need
what do
one.
I find? Yeah, just give me a bag of protein. I don't care. Don't try to sell me your. But really, there's so many different kinds of types of protein. Whether it's your whey protein, your casein protein, even like we have collagen protein here. We're like pretty big advocates of collagen protein, mainly because collagen protein is better absorbed through the body and it performs a lot of different functions. So collagen protein, when in result to inflammation, I actually learned this recently, but collagen protein has a similar effect and can be a positive replacement for actually like anti-inflammatory drugs. So like taking aspirin all the time to deal with pain, or ibuprofen or things like that, or even like higher levels of pain when it comes to like trying to reduce inflammation in our body.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the doctor, if you go in like, hey, my back hurts, like this is bothering me, the first thing they're going to give you, okay, here's some anti-inflammatories. But what we can do actually is we can take a consistent amount of collagen protein and we can heal our joints not only from the integrity of our joints being stronger with more collagen protein, going directly towards the structure of our muscles and our joints. But on top of that, it has a huge anti-inflammatory response.
So on top of that, in the fish oil, you should be doing okay, like on anti-inflammatory.
Really, you should when it comes to and reducing inflammation.
So that's and that kind of all comes back to like we're like creating a round like healthy diet, and like we're supplementing these fish oils and creatine and things like that, and collagen, like what you said, and kind of creating the perfect diet for like your body to grow, or I guess meet your goals.
Well,
maybe.
and think about, so don't necessarily want to say the perfect diet because these are exactly what they say they are, supplements. So it's to supplement your diet. So as long as you're eating, properly, and there's no one with a perfect diet, obviously.
Yeah, that's right, my bad.
But like this stuff is definitely going to help kind of round out a good, healthy diet to get what you want out of fitness, out of working out, whether, like we were saying, whether it's weight loss or putting on muscle, strength, anything you're looking to do really, or even rehabilitation. Obviously, a lot of those anti-inflammatory and like collagen protein, that's going to help with building muscle, but also reducing the inflammation to kind of help relieve some pain, get some joints to loosen up maybe a little bit so you can get more range of motion, get moving again. So there's a lot of different ways you can go about it. Along with creatine, a lot of people don't know necessarily what that is, may not take it, may not trust it. There's a lot of brands out there. Do your research on that. Caffeine can get it through a lot of different ways. Some people drink tea, coffee.
I recommend Folgers.
Caffeine capsules if you don't drink any of that stuff. So there's a lot of ways. You just got to be able to put forth just a little bit of effort to really make sure you're getting the right stuff instead of like the one with the most colorful labeling that just throws an extra added crap with all that.
The one that has like Arnold Schwarzenegger on it. You're like, I know that guy. I'm getting that one.
Colorful labeling. Like, we don't do that. Yeah, we don't add any color.
But you know what? What's kind of crazy about this is like I've been taking this for like 3 weeks now, and I really I don't know if it's like placebo mental, but I feel better. Like I really do like feel better when I come into the gym.
You talk about your hair too.
Yeah, and like my hair and my nails been growing like crazy, and I have
They're glowing.
I have like a balding issue, so I'm totally fine with the hair deal. But like I really do like when I like wake up in the morning, I don't like pop and crack so much, and I feel better squatting. Whether that's like me just like getting better into the rhythm of things, or like maybe mental with the collagen, or maybe it really like physically helping me like perform better, which is.
I mean, that's the thing with the collagen. Like collagen, you'll see more and more collagen being researched. You'll see more and more collagen in your local stores, right alongside things like whey protein.
And,
because
kale.
collagen is it's trending now, but it's not to the point where it's like, oh, it's like a multivitamin. Everyone goes and buys multivitamins, not knowing that they're, again, like you said, basically just pissing them out.
Yeah.
You're not really absorbing any of that. But with collagen, like you actually are absorbing it. It has one of the highest rates of absorption of any supplement out there. But to touch on, collagen, there's also like the protein collagen, balance. Like, should I have whey protein? Should I have collagen protein? Which one should I choose if I can't afford, one or the other? Or if I can't afford both, which one am I going to choose? And it really goes with kind of what are your specific goals? Because the collagen is going to be like your overarching, like foundational protein that's going to help you with a lot of different things. It's very versatile. The whey protein is going to allow you to do things a little bit more when it comes to it's more effective for for instance, building actual muscle
Like stacking
or
on weight.
performing. If you're going to try and put on some muscle, maybe perform better, the whey protein is going to have a little bit better overall result, managed because it's very quickly absorbed. The overall structure, the actually like chemical structure of the whey protein is just a little bit more optimized necessarily for building muscle.
Gotcha. I just mix it right in there in my normal protein. I can't even taste it. It's
Yeah.
the best part about it. It doesn't affect me at all. All I got to do is just dump it in there.
Yeah.
We'll put it in like a cup of coffee. So there's your caffeine and your collagen all in
Freaking
one.
killing it. Yeah.
Take it 2 or 3 times a day if you want. It's awesome. But all right, guys, I think that about wraps it up for supplements. As we said earlier, get your well-rounded diet and feel free to supplement it with any of this stuff to kind of get that well-rounded diet and get the results you want out of, your exercises, your fitness. Once
Do your
again,
research. Do
Yeah,
your
do your
research. Yeah, do
research.
your research.
Hey,
don't get
and
the
real
wrong
quick,
products.
if you are looking for a place to get the actual good research, not like backed by any other companies or anything like that, examine.com is probably the best resource you can get. You go to any just search the chemicals, search the compound, whatever it is. They're going to tell you, they have like a well planned out matrix that basically tells you like, this is what it's good for, this is what it's not good for, this is what's you're not going to have any effect. Things that like commonly might be touted as like, oh, this chemical does this thing. They'll take all the research, aggregate it for you, and tell you exactly what it's good for, and what it's not.
Sounds badass.
But yeah, real quick, I think that's about it. We appreciate y'all watching, and if you're on iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, leave us a comment, maybe even tell us what you might want to hear from us next. But that's it. Episode
Instagram,
9, Adapt
Facebook.
Performance Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at adapt.fitness, Facebook /Adapt Strength. Bo Alexander, Lucas Ammon, Seymour McCallum, and we'll see you next week.
GG. Baby.
And we back. 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 And we back.